Hi everyone, Karen Cole here from Legal Minded Friends. If you could smell this coffee. Well, you won't find that in prison. And I've done a video on that. You can see up there with an interview from someone who had been in prison, and he tells us what life is like in prison. So check that out. So what's going on in this case? Who is this Lori Vallow, aka, which means also known as, it's an acronym, Daybell. So the state of Idaho versus the accused Lori Vallow, aka Lori Daybell. So how did her religious beliefs factor into her getting charged with multiple murders and conspiracy to commit murder? We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about the increase in the UK with religious cults, what the law is around that, if there is any, but how you can ultimately protect yourself and your family if you've been affected by this. So let's listen to Crime Time with DutyRon. Give us a brief overview. He is a retired New York Police Department detective, and his channel gives you insights from a law enforcement and victim perspective. So I'll leave the full clip in the description area below.
Today, I want to talk to you about the Lori Vallow trial update. This is a case that has been dragging out for over 3 years. Lori Vallow, as I like to refer to her as, stands charged with the murder of JJ and Tylee Ryan, her children. And there is a ton of other people who have become dead that have gone against her, like her ex-husband, Charles Vallow, her own brother, Alex, who was doing a lot of the dirty work and killing off a lot of people. Tammy Daybell, that's Chad Daybell's wife. The list goes on. And this cult mom, this evil monster, tried to play games with the courts by pleading insanity or trying to fake that she's cuckoo. And under Idaho state law, you can't get away with that. So there's a lot of things that she did to delay this thing. But I wanted to talk to you about the grandparents.
That finished too quickly. I certainly wanted to keep watching that, and I'm sure you will too, so check it out. DutyRon got it spot on. So many people ended up dead because of these people's religious beliefs. And you'll also find out it was for greed, money, the greed of money and sex. So DutyRon mentions that even Lori Vallow's husband ended up dead. So I want to play a clip where Charles Vallow, Lori's husband, is seeking police assistance just a few months before he was killed. So let's listen to that clip.
What's going on? Why is she here and you're not here, or are you staying here with her?
Long story. She's had kind of a break from reality. She thinks you're LDS?
Yes.
She thinks she's married to Moroni in the past.
You think she's what?
We're married to Moroni, the top of the temple.
Angel LDS. Angel.
They don't let me in there.
Probation, and she knows when the second coming is happening next year, so does the prophet.
Okay.
He knows that she knows about it. She meets with Moroni, Jesus Christ, face to face in the temple every day. I've tried to support her as much as I could, but it's gotten really, really bad lately. She's had a break. She says, I'm Nick Snyder. I've taken over Charles's body, and Charles has been killed. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered today or tomorrow. I can do it. I'm not going with my priesthood, with my power. She does priesthood blessings. She does.
I realized that was hard to hear. So basically what was happening is that Charles Vallow had called the police and was trying to tell him that his wife had really changed, that she had joined this religious group and who the leader claimed to be a prophet and knew when the end of times were coming. And she believed through these radical teachings from this chap named Chad Daybell, which we'll hear a bit about in a little bit. But they believed that Charles was not himself, that he had been taken over and basically possessed by demons, by someone else, and he had to be killed. So in this clip that we just saw, he's explaining to the police that he went away for a business trip, and when he got back, his wife Lori had canceled his flights. His vehicle was not in the airport parking, and she also took $35,000 from his bank account, which is 28,000 British pounds. So she withdrew this from his bank account. Now, let me just stop it right there for a second. So if you want to protect yourself from that sort of thing happening, you can contact your bank. And a lot of people don't know this, but you don't always, if you're a business, you can set up more than one signatories, but a lot of banks do offer this for joint bank accounts too. So contact your bank to make sure if you've got that kind of money in the bank, you don't want the other person on the account to be able to just clean you out, because I can't explain how many times this happens to people. I do a lot of divorces, and this is very common, sadly. Make sure that you can get 2 signatories before any money can be withdrawn. Any large amounts of money can be withdrawn. So protect yourself. Call your bank and find out if you can make sure you've got 2 signatories before they could take any money out. Okay, this story of Charles just gets worse. Lori also told him that he would be killed in the next few days. So he was trying to tell the police that he was fearful for his life and the safety of his children. Now, Lori was not arrested because this would be a civil matter in the courts. And she'd actually not even threatened him. So she said he would be killed in an accident. As a result, Charles wanted a divorce. Let's fast forward. He was ultimately killed by Lori's brother. And if you want to watch a great video that kind of sums up everything that's been presented in the court so far, you can watch Harvard lawyer Lee. She's done an amazing overview, which I just think it's worth watching from her perspective as she gets into all the detail of what's been presented to the court. Also at this time, Lori's husband, Charles, ends up being killed by Lori's brother, Alex. So the 2 children that Charles Vallow was worried about end up going missing. The grandparents become so worried that they ask the police to do a welfare check. There's a couple stories going on. Lori says they're fine, they're with a friend. The friend confirms this, but later says no, she didn't have them. So the police start to think something's going on here, so they do an investigation and they find the children in Chad's back garden. They were killed, terrible, terrible deaths. After Lori's husband Charles dies, everybody starts wondering what's going on, because after Chad's wife died, suddenly everyone thought she had a heart attack and that she died of natural causes, though she was really healthy. And DutyRon has also done a video on the cause and manner of Tammy Daybell's death. That was Chad Daybell's wife of 30 years. And Crime Time with DutyRon has a retired New York chief of staff from the New York Medical Examiner's Office. Her name is Dr. Barbara Butcher. So they explain the unthinkable. You can find that full clip in my description area as well. in the section down below. Okay, so what's going on with these religious cults? Well, religious cults are also known as new religious movements, and Article 9 in the UK protects our personal right to hold religious beliefs or non-religious beliefs. And in the opening statements of the Tammy Daybell trial, the defense lawyer actually says, thankfully, we're all given the protection under the human rights to belong to any religious group and have the freedom to do so, which I thought was kind of bizarre. So I'll leave you links if you want to check out the actual trial that's going on, as the Crime and Law Network has that going on daily. Okay, so in the UK, almost 2 years ago, July 2022, the Daily Mail online wrote an article titled "Campaigners," which you can see up there, issue warning and demands changes in law in order to protect victims from the number of soaring sinister cults in Britain. So the article goes on to say that the Family Survival Trust urges the government to amend a section of 215 Serious Crime Act, which makes it illegal to engage in patterns of coercive and controlling behavior in an intimate relationship, so that it also can apply to those who are lured into the clutches of these dangerous cults. And the idea that the exploitation and brainwashing and abuse is only a crime if a person, if it's a person that you live with, but it's not a crime if you live next door to the person or they're your neighbor. So it's kind of odd, implying that mental manipulation cannot be a crime outside a relationship. So the article also goes on to tell us the numbers of cults in the UK has increased dramatically, and they've soared from around 500 to as many as 2,000 since the 1990s. If you're interested in this report, I've left links to the article below, as the report findings have testimonies from over 150 victims of 36 different cults. And many of them say that they were separated from their families and friends, and they got fleeced out of all their savings. So check out that article. So not much has changed in the laws. It's very difficult to charge somebody with manipulation unless you're in a abusive family relationship where there's coercive and controlling behavior happening. And the reason it's difficult to prove that you've been manipulated by a cult or one of these new religious groups is because they ask you to give freely, you're donating to them. So they're not forcing you to do that. And if you can prove that they are, then that would be fraud. I'm going to leave you with Dr. Anastasia E. Somerville, who has written the 25 signs you are in a high control group or a cult, which I think you'll find very interesting and helpful. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Information is power. Please like and share, as you never know who you can help. And if you need legal support, contact us at Legal Minded Friends. I help litigants in person. I'm a lawyer in the UK, and I work in criminal law, family law, civil law, and employment law. Will be able to help you with whatever worry that you have. Why not subscribe and watch more of our videos? If you need legal help, contact Legal Minded Friends.